Oh. Hi everyone.
Oh we just went live. I mean, I just started recording.
Oh, it said live. I'm sorry. I got real shook. See how I hopped right into it though? I really did.
Yes, love that.
Wait, what just happened? I hate when it does this.
Miguel, it's okay.
It's like when if you don't start recording before you've set the live up.
Oh, that's annoying.
Well, I should probably pull up my answers.
Yeah, Regina. But don't just read off a paper. We're having a conversation, Regina.
I know, but I have to have a little template so I can remember what
I hella have my questions on my iPad right here. I really can't say shit.
I mean, we can keep it going, and I know you keep the convo going. Like, that's not my strong suit, but.
Oh, can you guys add your pronouns to your names? Do you know how to do that?
Yeah, if you give us the thing to rename, oh, it's already there. Beautiful. I'm gonna add my middle name too.
Oh, change my. How do I do that?
So press the three little buttons and hit rename.
Oh, there we go. Goes to show you how often I do this.
You know what? Zoom is stupid. They update like every 3 weeks too, so you have to like relearn some shit.
Sorry. All right. Are you guys ready?
Yes.
Let's do this.
Maybe if this will work. All right. Here we go.
Hi everyone. Welcome to this week's episode of Foolin Around. Leah interviews fools who are around. Me and Regina are around, you guys. We're really changing things up. Once again, I'm still in Ohio. Regina is in Kansas. So we're really hitting all 50 states on Fooling Around. Eventually we'll get to it, I feel. Okay, so but as you can see, my guest today is Regina Harris, the one, the only. She is a lighting designer, a sound designer, basically the best tech friend you could ever have. I have called Regina, I don't know how many times in a stressful situation where I'm like, how do I program this light? Oh my God, literally more than once, Regina, like, oh my God. And she always pulls through. That's what you need to know.
Yes, I got your back, boo.
Yes, boo, yes. Oh my goodness. She also graduated from Fresno State. What year did you graduate?
In December of 2012.
Okay,
so I did 2012. A half year, yeah.
Beautiful, love that. And she's worked with StageWorks, with oh my God, Selma Arts Center. I was like, what are they called? Who else have you worked with?
I feel like that's pretty much it, other than like shows that I've done with like Miguel in town and just like random gigs here and there.
Right.
The majority of the work that I did was with StageWorks and Fresno State, obviously, because I'm with them now. But yeah,
amazing.
Good time.
You are the lighting and sound technician for Fresno State, right?
Yes, I'm currently the lighting and sound tech. Yeah,
I love that. I used to work under Regina, everyone. I worked in the light shop for, I think, 1 semester. Not much after that.
I loved it.
I was too scared to go on the ladders.
You helped in many other ways, though. We figured it out.
We did. I just stayed in the shop, just organizing the gels, and that worked for us.
Yep.
Oh my goodness. Alrighty, but let's just hop into this. Why don't you talk to us a little bit, Regina, about how you got involved with the arts? Like, what is your timeline of first starting out in theater and how you got to where you are
now? Well, the first show that I ever did in theater was in high school, and I was actually in Footloose. That was like the one and only time I will act in a musical. Who knows, maybe something will happen in the future, but I was in Footloose. It was a blast. It was one of my favorite things. And I actually auditioned for a show the year before, but I didn't make it into the cast. So woo, I made it the next year.
They regretted that the next year. They regretted it.
Right. I was so out of the loop. It was Tribe Life. I auditioned with like a Destiny's Child song. Like I didn't pick
I
a
love that.
theater.
I love that.
It was so much fun though. And then I got to college and I was actually a music major first. And I went from being a music major to a communicative disorders major.
Oh, wow.
And then I took a class with Terry Miller,
Okay.
TM, who used to be a professor in the theater arts department, and has done many things around town theater wise and has contributed so much to the community. But he pulled me into the department, and
So did you
the
take an
rest, I
acting
guess,
class?
is I took well, it wasn't technically an acting class. It was more of like a drama lit class, like a
Ooh,
history
okay.
of theater kind of situation. And it was like one of my most fun classes that semester. And I was just like, you know what, this is something I really want to do. Like I had been playing around with the thought of, joining the theater department, but it was like one of those things too, where it's like, I don't know anybody, like, how do I do this, And so like, he was really able to help me like meet people and kind of get started on my journey in the theater department at Fresno State. And it just was, so much fun and so fulfilling from then on. I ended up joining kind of the lighting track because I was really interested in, the process of it all and just how, all of that worked and wanting to design and kind of get a feel for, what it takes to be a lighting designer in theater. And so from then, I just started. I started as a board op on shows.
Always got to start with the board op. Yes.
Yes, started as a board op, and then I made my way up to ALD status, and then I designed the first show.
So that's assistant lighting design.
In my senior year, yes, I was assistant lighting designer for a few shows. My sophomore and junior year, and then my senior year, or really I should say junior and senior year, and then my super senior year, I finally got to design, and it was such a great experience, And then from there, I graduated, started doing some stuff in the community with Miguel Gastelum. We kind of did something at the Painted Table in the Tower District. And then we ended up doing a couple of shows at what was called the Voice Shop. I think it has a different name now.
Yeah, what is it called now? Something. It's like an academy, like the Fresno Music Academy, I think.
Something like
Emily
that,
Carnes,
yeah.
She works there. Emily, comment if you're watching.
For sure.
Oh, yeah, Miguel just said
the Fresno Music Academy. Yeah, so we did a couple of shows there, and then that's actually when I started working with StageWorks, because StageWorks brought me in to help with Les Mis, and
we missed.
I just continued.
Joel and JD.
Yeah, I know StageWorks. It was so much fun, such a pleasurable experience working with them, and I ended up doing so many shows for them, and then I moved on to Fresno State.
I love that. What a beautiful story.
And that was my journey.
That's your journey. Thank you.
Yes.
Something you mentioned that I feel like I've heard a lot from like my design tech friends in theater is that you were in like a completely other field and then you just sort of got like pulled in to doing it. And that's so fun to me because I feel like that's very different for like acting majors, because acting majors very much so, generally at least, go in with the express purpose of like, I'm going to act, I'm going to do plays and musicals and stuff. Whereas technicians have like a more like roundabout way of getting to theater,
Right.
Why? What do you think? Was it just like taking Terry Miller's class that drew you in, or was there like always an underneath passion for theater that you like were denying? Like, why do you think you took that roundabout sort of method?
I had been playing around with the thought of, taking my career in that direction of theater. But I felt like there was this voice in the back of my head that was like, you should be doing, well, I also really loved communicative disorders, and like I wanted to become an interpreter, and I, wanted to go that route for a long time. And but it just felt like it wasn't something that I was as passionate about like I was with theater. And when I finally took TM's class, it was just like, for me, like one of those signs, like, okay, I really, really need to do this. Like, and it just was something that I wanted to pursue. So for me, it was just like that avenue to be able to kind of fulfill some of my dreams, you know, and working in, you know, theatrical entertainment in that way. So it just kind of worked out.
And we're so grateful for it, because we love having you in our lives and in our community.
Yes, it's been a blast.
Oh yes, sorry, what were you saying?
No, I was just saying it's been a blast. It's been a lot of fun.
A lot of fun.
And you meet a lot of like a lot of different personalities and just great people. And I feel like there's, you know, many great experiences, sometimes not so great experiences. But yeah, still cool.
But you gotta have some bad so you can appreciate the good, you know?
Right.
But let's talk a little bit about what you do with the Fools. You know, we're both members of the Fools Collaborative. I think I think we're both Arlequino members. I don't remember what the tiers are, but why don't you talk to us a little bit about, you know, some work you've done with the Fools?
So the first experience that I had with the Fools was there are a few artists in town who decided to come together, and, you know, we would have meetings at you know, one of our friends' houses down in the tower, and just try to collaborate and come together and figure out, you know, what we wanted to do in terms of getting more art out there, and doing like small projects, you know, on not even just the theater side of things, but like incorporating music, incorporating, you know, really theater stuff as well, but like also art. And so that was really my first experience with them. And I feel like it's definitely grown from there. I also was involved with Drunk Shakespeare. So that was a great experience as well, like being able to kind of put, you know, find different sounds and different, created an environment for the Shakespeare world for the Fools when they did Swill. And that was a fantastic experience. And then also doing, you know, the Make a Joyful Noise project, and being able to participate in cabarets.
Oh yeah.
So I've done cabaret with them as well. And
did you sing at a cabaret?
I did, yeah. I sang a Waitress song. I did a Waitress song.
Yes. Was it the I Didn't Plan It? I knew it. I knew it.
Yeah.
I love that song.
And anyone that knows me, I'm usually shy about singing, or like, you know, I'll sing every once in a while if I'm not thinking about it, but like if somebody actively tries to get me to sing something, it's like, I'm cool.
But you're a beautiful singer, Regina. You're such a beautiful singer. We need more of it.
For sure. But yeah, and I in terms of, you know, participating with the Fools, I've done quite a bit, and coming soon, I'll actually be doing quite a bit more. So y'all will just have to wait and find out, you know,
keep
what
our
that
eyes
is.
peeled for that.
Yes.
Very, very, very exciting. So let's talk about some shows you've worked on. Let's get a little bit specific here. I guess let me ask you a couple questions. What is your favorite show you've ever designed for? And what about it was like a great experience for you?
That's a complex one.
It doesn't have to be a show you designed for, but maybe a show you worked on, like maybe if you were TV or you did projections or something like that.
Yeah. There are a couple at Fresno State that I had wonderful experiences on, that I was an ALD for. And one of them was Assassins, that we did back in the day. And the other one was It's a Wonderful Life. And both, it was the radio play. Yeah, we did the radio play version, and it was such a cool experience because they did all of the sound effects. They used Foley artists, or used 2 actors to be Foley artists.
I love that.
Like the way that the story was told, like, and the experience of teching it and putting it all together, it just was like, it was perfect.
Wow.
Yeah, it was an awesome show.
Did Brad
As
direct
well as for
both of you?
Assassins. He did,
I
yeah,
love
he
that.
did.
I love that.
So good. But if I had to pick a favorite, it happened more recently. And it was Be More Chill.
I know.
Because
I
that
know.
was like such a wonderful experience. And you know, I had the great opportunity to be able to co-design with Maddie Spate, who you interviewed a couple weeks ago.
Yes.
True homie. She is a fabulous designer. I love her work. But just that experience of it all was fantastic. And we were actually able to go see it earlier that year in New York, and just, you know, kind of draw some different ideas there. And it was one of those shows that I'll never forget, you know. And there was such good feedback, you know, from it. And it's one of those shows too that I feel like we were really able to grasp using the amount of color that we did, in terms of like working with LEDs and trying to create a theme and trying to create this environment, you know. I feel like it's taken me a while to work on that side of you know, my work, I guess. And I feel like it really worked out very well with that show. So
I would agree.
Yeah.
I think the payoff was immense.
Thanks, boo.
Is there a difference for you between designing at Fresno State versus designing like in a community theater?
Difference in what way?
I guess just in like the freedoms you have, maybe, or like what you have at your disposal to like play around with.
I definitely feel like there's quite a bit more opportunity when it comes to working at Fresno State, because of the amount of instruments we have, and different, you know, things that we can use to create environments and things of that nature. We also do some stuff with have tried to do some things with projection design, and like I feel like more opportunity on the Fresno State side of things. Not to say that there's not opportunity in the community, because there are quite a few spaces now that are doing well. We're doing, you know, a lot, you know, before COVID hit, and especially when it came to like doing shows at the Arts Center, at the Selma Arts Center. You know, there was a lot that went into their work, and you know, a lot that went into the work just in town in Fresno. And so yeah, I feel like there's quite a bit more what's the word? There's more opportunity, really, I guess, with Fresno State. Yeah.
There is a certain advantage to getting your like theater upbringing at like a learning institution, because you can like try weird shit, you can experiment, you can get like really cool and random instruments, and you don't have to pay for them, and your professors just buy them and say, oh, it's for learning, right? Which it's not quotes, it is learning, right? You're messing around. Whereas at the community theater, they have to think like, oh, if we get this instrument, how much use can we get out of it? Is it going to be worthwhile to you? Like, you know, there's like a lot more that goes into that. Like you have to be a little bit more careful, I guess.
Right.
On like the administrative side. That's interesting. But since you mentioned, you know, a lot of theaters being on pause right now, a lot of stuff not being able to happen because of, you know, the pandemic, the panorama that we're all living.
Yes.
How has your job at Fresno State changed? Because you're like the lighting sound tech person. How is that different now?
Things I feel like we've been affected quite a bit, just in terms of, you know, labor that we can have, like, because you don't really have many students on campus at this point. We're only allowed to, you know, work with so many people, and also, you know, with all of the like mandates and rules, like keeping people 6 feet apart, you can only have so many people, you know, in a space at a time. That's definitely affected the way that we work, as well as, you know, we now have to record everything because we can't have, you know, a live audience,
Right.
and things of that nature. So the process is very different. And we've tried to figure out a way to adjust to sort of a minimal type style, but as well as still providing a great theater experience for our viewers, you know, and our actors, because I feel like, you know, they need to have that experience as well.
Right.
And it's nice to do work, you know.
So is your job more so like you're like a video editor now? Is that kind of the role you've taken on?
I don't necessarily do the editing side of
Okay.
things. So like my experience with one of the shows that we worked on early in the semester, last semester, I did the sound. And so I was able to work with the director and find, you know, what kind of style she was looking for, find different sound effects that she wanted. We did everything post. So basically what that means is, you know, they recorded everything, and instead of running the sound live when they recorded the actors, we added it in after the fact. And so I was able to find those sounds and provide the things that she needed. And then she took, you know, those clips and gave them to the team that we were working with, because we worked with the MCJ department. And they were, you know, they cut things together, and they, you know, created a film basically for us, so that we could stream it. And so that process was a little different, opposed to, you know, the last show of the semester that I worked on, I did the lighting for. And so setting all of that up and trying to, you know, think about some of the larger group situations that we had, being able to cover those spaces and, you know, do so in a safe manner, I feel like was a bit of a challenge. But we were able to figure it out in the end, and I think they turned out pretty good.
Wow. So is it, so you guys are still filming all the shows in the theaters, right?
Yes.
But just like a staggered call kind of situation?
Right. And then with our second show, we actually weren't able to finish our second show in the spring of last year. I believe it was the spring of last year. So we ended up keeping the setup, and they recorded, you know, with their set for this past fall, and we're able to work with, you know, all of the things. And it was less of like the experience that we had with the first and the last show. They filmed it more so like you were just filming an actual theater production that was happening, you know, opposed to just like the regular actors, you know, just their faces, you know. So it's a little different, but yeah.
So it sounds like you guys are really trying to work with what you can, right? And also still make sure that, like, because it's a learning institution, right? We talked about that. Fresno State is a learning institution. So you're still trying to preserve those opportunities for students to have new learning experiences. And I think that's really cool, especially because, you know, we don't have an opening date for commercial theater. We don't know what's going to be happening with like the industry. And so to give these students like opportunities to still be making like theater arguably the same quality that you would have, like it's a different quality, but I would still say it's still an enjoyable experience. In like a really reimagined way. I think that's really awesome, because a lot of schools have just canceled their seasons indefinitely. You know? And Fresno State said, no, we're not. No, we're not.
We're making it happen.
Yes. And I love that. And it's so, I mean, it's probably really hard, you know? And I think that's why a lot of schools are choosing not to have seasons, is because it just feels like you can't do it. It feels like there's too many obstacles to make it worth it. But I mean, you guys are certainly an example. Oh my God, what's the school that UC Irvine? I heard their She Kills Monsters was really crazy, like imaginative. They like played with like Zoom features and whatnot to do it. And
Yeah.
I know UCLA is doing stuff. Basically, everyone needs to turn to California to look, because these are all California schools that I'm seeing.
Yes.
Public schools
Find
too,
a
mind
way.
you. Oh my goodness. I love it. I love it.
Yes, keep theater alive. Got to
We
keep it
gotta
alive.
we gotta keep it alive. And that's actually a question I had too. So are you still having student designers for these productions? Or is it faculty leading that, faculty and staff leading that, because it's a lot more difficult than usually?
This past semester, it was mostly faculty and staff. For that second show, we actually already had student designers, so we were able to keep their work and just work from what they had already developed. Because we were in the tech process, most of it was there.
Mhm.
We ran into some challenges in terms of the way that rights work with
Mhm.
music, certain songs and things like that.
Right.
But for the most part, the faculty and staff have been designing. Now, the dance show, CDE, is actually coming up this semester. And we will have a couple of student designers to do lighting like we do every year. So they're still able to participate in that way, which is great.
Yeah.
Because, you know, a lot of them still want to be able to do that work.
Right. Excuse
Yeah.
me. I'm so sorry.
You're fine.
Can you talk a little bit about how the tech classes are being taught during COVID?
For the most part, I believe they're being taught online, with the exception of, I know Liz taught a lighting class last semester,
Okay.
and they met a few of the days to do programming. I don't think they met all at the same time.
Okay.
Like there were different time slots, with the exception of maybe a couple of them.
Mhm.
Because I mean, lighting is very hands-on,
Mhm.
and so being able to work with, you know, the instruments that we work with, and trying to learn a little bit more about it, it's easier to do when you're in person.
Mhm.
Those classes aren't very large. I think she had like maybe 3 or 4 students. So so they were able to meet, but for the most part, you know, I think that they're all being taught online right now.
Dang. Do you teach any classes?
No.
I didn't think so. Do you
I
know
just
if that,
design, yeah.
what did you say?
I just design,
Oh, okay.
and then
Um,
I keep up the lighting shop and you know, the electrics in the department.
right. I don't know. I'm just thinking a lot about how, did you hear that? Oh my God. It was my watch.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
You're
I'm so
fine.
sorry. What I was thinking about though was just I guess just how amazed I am. How amazed I am that like you don't seem jaded at all. Like you feel like really like we're doing it. We're doing it. And I just feel like that's so refreshing. It's so refreshing
For
because
sure, thanks.
so much is happening right now, you know, but we're able to find
Yeah,
joy in like persisting in our art even though like the world is making it so difficult, you know. And
I know.
but
And
that's
it
so
just makes me so
inspirational.
grateful to like have a job and to be able to
Mhm.
continue to do my art. And you know, it may be unconventional right now in the way that we have to do it,
Mhm.
but we're still given the opportunity to do it, and so many people, you know, are not at this
Right.
point. So I'm
Right.
just happy, you know, to be able to continue to work on, you know, different shows and
Mhm.
have something to do, you know.
Yeah. No, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. I want to ask you if you have any advice for anybody, I guess at any stage of their career, wanting to get involved in technical theater. What should they do? Are there things they should learn? Is there a place they should go? What do you think they should do?
Um, Yeah, I mean, I am big about just being hands-on and just getting out there and just doing it.
Mhm.
I know there's not a lot to do right now,
Right.
but when theater comes back, and yes, it will come back,
Mhm.
like just get your hands dirty, you know, get out there. If you want to try, you know, and be a sound designer, try and be a lighting designer, and you want, you know, to work on something like that, I would say try and find somebody who's already in the field, or try and find, some sort of mentor, find different books, that you can read, different, arts type articles, things of that nature. Reach out. Like I'm a part of different groups on social media, that work with lighting designers, work with sound designers. Like the best that you can do, I feel like, is engage with other people in that field. So I would say, yeah, definitely reach out to people, do your research, and just try and work on whatever you can work on, and build your resume.
Yeah. And that, I want to emphasize especially the last part, build your resume. Like, I feel like a lot of people don't think that they can start like literally at the bottom. Like you can be an usher and work your way and do that. Because really, especially with like smaller companies, I would say you just need to know the people and then express your interest to those people, and they'll find a way for your interest to be met,
Right.
Like,
right.
I'm thinking of at StageWorks, I ushered however many shows, right? And I had mentioned to, oh my God, what's her name? Karen, she used to stage manage for them.
Yeah.
I had mentioned stage managing and that I was interested in that. And she like got me set up and like gave me like the tools so I could start stage managing at Fresno State. And then I like spot opt for Boardwalk. I just called them Boardwalk. What are they called? StageWorks. I'm so sorry. But really, it's about getting a mentor, getting a foot in, however way you can get that, and then it just builds from there.
Right. Yeah.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Alrighty. Well, I have my final question that I ask every guest on every show, and that is, if you could hang out with one artist, dead or alive, famous or not, any artistic discipline, who would it be and what would you do?
So this was a hard one because there are so many.
Yes.
So many. And I kind of picked two. I hope that's okay.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine.
But one of them would be Prince.
Yes.
Because I love Prince and I think he's amazing, and he's done so much, for the musical community or music community, and just for the world in general,
Yeah.
And the other would be Missy Elliott.
Yes.
Because she has been my hero, like, since I was much younger. I love everything she stands for, the music that she's made, her process, everything that she's done. Like, I just think that it would be amazing to just sit down and chat with her and just find out more about, how she became who she is, and what her thought process was. And like, that would be so much fun, and then to just like chill and like try and do a collab or something with both of them and like make a song or something. It would be so cool.
Yes. So would they be separate or together?
I mean, I would be with them together. Shoot, they're both musicians. Like, we'd probably come up with something so dope.
So crazy. Yeah. Oh my God. That's beautiful. What a beautiful, like, imaginative note to end off on. Thank you so much for your time, Regina. Next week's guest is not confirmed yet, so it's anyone's guess. We'll find out together, everyone. See you all next week. Thank you, Regina.
Thank you. Woo.
All righty, we did that.
Yes. Thank you. I know, my poor little dog farted.